Sydney Terminal Information Foxtrot. Expect ILS approach. Runway 16 left and 16 right for arrival and departure. Wind, 130 degrees, 9 knots. Visibility greater than 10 kilometers. Cloud scattered 2,500 feet. Temperature 25. QNH 101 tree. On first contact with Sydney ground or approach, notify receipt of information Foxtrot. Time check, 0.
Break, Qantas 632, your heavy contact departures 124.4 today.
124.4 for Qantas 632 heavy, even great. Thank you, Qantas 632.
And Jetstar 2343, just confirm push approved.
Thank you, push approved, Jetstar 2343.
And I realize I've been talking this whole time and I've been on mute. Good gracious. So we're just tuning into hold on. Getting a bunch of beeps. It may have been my vPilot client. But yes, we're just listening into
Qantas 26, continue your taxi on Bravo, make a right on Charlie 1 and to the bay of your choice. G'day.
Continue Bravo, then run to Charlie 1, Qantas 26, good day.
So we're listening into Tower right now, trying to get a sense of what our departure clearance is going to be like, just so that we're nice and prepared. We're going to pull up the charts that we think we're going to need based on our flight plan, which right now is, actually I need to update the Navigraph, so give me 1 sec here. There we go, and the Dina 7 is likely the one we want. So let's just take a look if they're going to give us 16 right. And are we heading to Richmond? Let's see. Yes, we'll be flying out to Richmond. So it looks like after passing Dina and 6,000, turn right. So we basically fly it. We're going to shimmy to the right a little bit to dunes and past Dina, and once we get to 6,000, we're going to make a right turn. So we'll just go ahead and get that pre-programmed up there in the autopilot, just in case we need it. It sounds like boarding is complete.
All stations, Sydney Tower will be closing in approximately 5 minutes. All stations, Sydney Tower closing in approximately 5 minutes.
Well, shit, we should get our clearance then, shouldn't we? Alright. And
ladies and gentlemen from the flight deck, on behalf of myself, your captain, the first officer, and cabin, take this time to welcome you aboard our flight. We're just wrapping up some paperwork up front here and waiting to receive final numbers from the ground crew, then we'll be on our way. Flight attendants will be coming through the cabin shortly with a very important safety briefing. We do ask that you give them your full, undivided attention as they review the safety operations of this Airbus aircraft. We do appreciate your business having you aboard this flight. If there's anything we do to make your flight any more enjoyable, please don't hesitate to ask. Welcome aboard.
what timing when I'm about to call ATC for the fly-by-wire sound pack to just kick off. All right, let's give this a shot. Well, let me file my freaking flight plan first. I'm all out of sorts, guys.
G'day, Jetstar 2343 requesting taxi clearance.
Jetstar 2343, taxi Charlie Foxtrot to the Foxtrot holding point, runway 16 right.
Jetstar 2343, taxiing Charlie to, via Foxtrot to Foxtrot holding point, thank you.
Now, Jetstar, what kind of plane is Jetstar? All right, well, let's get our clearance because we only have 5 minutes. Sydney Tower, good morning. Qantas 9084 at Bay 35, type A320neo. Requesting IFR to Brisbane. We have Foxtrot.
Qantas 984, Sydney Tower, g'day. You are cleared to Brisbane via Richmond flight plan route. Dina 7 departure, Richmond transition, runway 16 right. Climb via the SID to 5000, squawk 4311, departure frequency 124.4.
I think you cleared to Brisbane via Richmond transition on the Dina 7 SID. Initial flight level 5000, squawk 4311, 124.4, Qantas 9084.
And Qantas 984, just confirm runway 16 right.
Apologies, yes, runway 16 right, Qantas 984.
Qantas 984, thanks.
All right, cool. So we've got a clearance. So initial altitude 5,000. We have the Dina 7. We predicted that correctly. Just got to read back that runway. Usually I get the runway when I request taxi, or at least I expect that. But you gotta be prepared for changes like that. So okay, we have our clearance. Everyone's on board. Fueling is done, so we can go ahead and set up the McDo here. Starting with checking the IRSs that are all checking nav, and they are. And checking that we have, yes, the LEAP engines are correct. We have the latest AirX cycle. That looks good as well. Let's go ahead and go to Init A. We'll use the automatic mode tonight because I'm feeling a bit lazy. It'll just make sure all the information is correct. So we are going from Sydney to Brisbane. Our alternate is Yankee Sierra Tango Whiskey. We are Qantas 9084, cost index 15, flight level 390 at our cruise. Triple pause is, that looks pretty close to our flight plan, but I like to use the exact values from the flight plan. So 52418, pump that in. And Init A looks complete to me.
G'day, Jetstar 2343 at Foxtrot holding point, ready for departure.
Jetstar 2343, hold short.
Holding short, Jetstar 2343.
So we're flying runway 16 right via the Dina 7 departure.
Sydney Tower, Qantas
Richmond
579, number 1 for runway 16 for visual flight landing.
Qantas 579, Sydney Tower, g'day. The wind 130 degrees, 9 knots, runway 16 right, cleared to land.
Clear to land, runway 16 right, Qantas 579.
All right, so this all looks good here. Dunes is our initial point. Dina will turn at 6,000 feet, although we're going to be at 5,000 initially. Ancub to Richmond, and there's a duplicate there. That's why I always like to check. So we'll clear that extra waypoint.
Jetstar 2343 behind the arriving Qantas A320, line up and wait behind.
Lining up and wait, Jetstar 2343.
Jetstar 2343 negative, behind the arriving aircraft, line up and wait behind.
Yeah, lining up and waiting behind the arriving aircraft.
Hey Griff, I'm using the Honeycomb Alpha yoke, the Honeycomb Bravo throttle, and the Logitech rudder pedals. So I got the full setup going for tonight. Okay, so that all looks good for the departure. We'll check the rest once we're in the air.
2343 hold position.
Oh, it's getting busy there, eh?
Jetstar 2343 holding.
Once this aircraft lands, Jetstar 2343, you can go onto the runway behind him, not until he lands.
Sorry, could you please copy again?
Jetstar 2343, after this aircraft that's landing now lands, you can enter the runway behind him.
Oh, good, Jetstar 2343, I apologize about that.
All right, so there's some drama going on.
Jetstar 2343, line up and wait.
Jetstar 2343, lining up and waiting.
There he is over there, and there's the landing aircraft. Didn't get mom matching to work, unfortunately. We'll have to continue to work on that. All right, but we got our rad nav in for this departure. We're going to just use the Richmond VOR as a kind of a backup navigation source. We'll get that turned on. That's nice and up close and personal. All right, so rad navs are good. We'll go now to Init B because everyone is done boarding and our weights should be just about perfect. So 60.1, that should be 500 kilos more than the flight plan.
579, do exit runway next taxiway.
Qantas 579, A firm exit left.
Well, I should check actually the new
Exit
fuel.
left, Qantas 579.
So 6814, and we wanted to add an extra 500. So that was, doing math now, 7314 on the new flight plan.
Qantas 26, Lock 9627, have a good day.
Qantas 26, thanks for flying, g'day.
Take about 30 seconds to get that level up a bit higher. This is a bit unrealistic to add more fuel after the fact. Like, I don't know if I'd actually call.
2343, when airborne, make a right turn heading 170. The wind's 130 degrees, 9 knots, runway 16 clear for takeoff.
Hey, Groups, yeah, sorry.
Runway 16 clear for takeoff, Jetstar 2343. Thanks.
Jetstar 2343, just confirm, when airborne, make a right turn heading 170.
Confirming making right turn heading 170 when airborne.
Jetstar 2343, thanks. Break, Qantas 579, welcome to Sydney. Taxi Bravo, cross runway 07, Charlie 1 to the bay of your choice. G'day.
Goodness gracious.
Qantas 579, please repeat, my pen just ran out of ink.
Qantas 579, not a problem. Taxi Bravo, cross runway 07, Charlie 1 to the bay of your choice.
Taxi 5 Bravo, cross runway 07, Charlie 1 to bay of choice. Qantas 579.
Jetstar 2343, contact departures 124.4, g'day.
Contacting 124.4 departures, g'day, thanks.
All stations, Sydney Tower is now closed. All stations switch to frequency 124.4. All stations, Sydney Tower is now closed. All stations, monitor Sydney approach 124.4, g'day.
Alright, we're at 124.4 now. Jeez,
confirming squawk 4012 for Jetstar 2343.
It's busy tonight. Speaking of squawk, let's get that in. And yes, actually, Crib, I will get your question now. So I do love it. The Bravo, the Alpha, for the price point is the most realistic controls that I've used so far.
General broadcast, information Golf is available.
The rudders are, I can't really tell if they're calibrated well to simulate.
Jetstar 2343, identified at 5,000, climb by SID, flight level 280. Track direct Cordo, planned route.
And depending on the plane that you're flying. Sorry, it's so busy tonight.
Direct to Cordo.
Jetstar 2343, flight level 200, 200.
200, fine. Flight level 200 for Jetstar 2343.
That guy needed some help tonight. That's fine. We're all learning here. But yeah, but if you're flying a Cirrus, for example, like the rudder feel is going to be very different from like a Cessna 172. But for home simming, for a setup that's less than $1,000, I'm a big fan. It's been really awesome. And the sensitivities are adjustable. And we're actually using the fly-by-wire recommended sensitivities tonight for the first time. So I'll see how that feels. It's supposed to better simulate how a commercial jetliner reacts to pitch and elevator and aileron inputs. All right, so I was wondering why my weight was weird. We changed our flight plan in the middle, so things got a little different there. So we're going to go back to Init B, continue the McDo setup. And 60.5 looks about right. We added an extra 5.
Sydney approach, Qantas 3131 is with you. Good afternoon. Currently descending through flight level 157 for 130.
Qantas 3131, Sydney approach. G'day, runway 16 right is available if you'd prefer, advise.
I'm set up now for 16 left, if that's okay. Qantas 3131.
Qantas 3131, no problem at all. Descend via star 8000. Runway 16 left, expect ILS approach.
Descend via star 8000. ILS 16 left, ILS approach. Qantas 3131.
Jetstar 2343, you were cleared direct Cordo. I see you in the left turn, turning out towards New Zealand there, advise.
Yep, we're trying to fix our FM6, just planned up, so we're trying to fly direct to Cordo, thanks.
Oh my God. All right, so I'm just putting in the fuel information from the flight plan.
Sydney approach, good day, this is Snowbird to radio check.
And confirming that we actually have enough on board based on the block and the headwinds.
Check 5x5.
And we have an extra half hour.
Thanks, Snowbird 2.
So we are definitely fine.
Snowbird 2.
All right, that's all good. Performance, I'm going to do a flex takeoff. The runway is nice and long. And what flex is, it allows us to use less than full thrust to take off, which means we are saving the engines some strife. So let me, I lost my airport charts.
Jetstar 2343, confirming, flying direct to Cordo. Sorry about that, problems with that FMC going on.
Jetstar 2343 direct Exeter is also available if you prefer.
Sorry, copy again, sorry, Jetstar 2343.
Oh my God.
Jetstar 2343, you can track direct Cordo, but it might be easier for you from your present position to track direct Exeter.
Tracking direct to Exeter.
I'm actually going to put the volume lower on my headset, so it's not so distracting. All right, elevation. So we're putting in some runway parameters that will allow us to calculate a thrust setting that will allow us to maximize the use of the length of the runway, so this will be a very slow takeoff. But the calculator also takes into account weather conditions, which also helps. So we're looking at 3962. Oh, did I just get a follow? Thank you. Thank you, Grid. I appreciate it. Doesn't happen too often at this point, but I hope you're finding this valuable. 3962. And I'll get back to the chat in just a sec. I'm just using this calculator right now to figure out the performance parameters. So the winds. Let's actually get our digital ATIS, so we don't have to refer to my chicken scratch all the time. So request ATIS here for, we want it for Sydney and for departure. So we'll send. And we'll give it a sec to get the company message through. In the meantime, I fill out the other parameters that we know. So like, for example, we know our QNH from the
Qantas 3131, descend via star 4000.
1013.
Descend via star 4000.
And we'll just set our QNH. It's already set to 1013, so that's all good. Runway conditions are dry. Takeoff weight is 67 tons. Doing a configuration 1 takeoff, we're going to have the packs off. Center of gravity, we can go to the fuel prediction page for this. That's 24.7. Alright, now we just need the latest weather information, and that message should have come in by now. So let's go to our messages. There's our ATIS. Perfect, we're now on Information Golf.
2343 still with approach. You need center 129.8.
Here it comes. This is a nice little feature of this mod. So we could just refer to it here in the sim. Oh, there we go. And get the rest of the information there. So we have information golf, 27th of the month, 410 Zulu. So these are our runways. We're doing 16 right tonight. Wind is 140 at 9 knots. So we'll pump that in. And that just confirms that the runway selection is correct because we'll be taking off into the wind to take advantage of the headwind. Outside air temperature is 24 degrees. Nice and warm. QNH is now 1012. That is the latest. Right. And that is it. So we do have our flex parameters here. So we're going to go back to the box. Get rid of the charts for now. So we're going to do flaps 1. Our trim is going to be up 0.8. And our flex temp, which is the main parameter for a flex takeoff, is 65 degrees. Transition altitude.
From ovals, join finals, runway 16 left, cleared ILS approach.
Transition is 10,000, so that's correct.
Ovals, join
And
finals,
thrust reduction,
runway
acceleration
16
altitude, engine out,
left,
acceleration altitude, those are
approach,
fine. It's roughly 1,500 feet above runway, since the runway is about 10 feet above sea level, so that's all good. V speed, so V1, which is our decision speed. If we go above this, we are committed to take off. Nice and high because of the long runway. Rotation speed, when we actually take off with 2 engines, is 153. And 1 engine out speed is also 153, which makes sense. Those are pretty high takeoff speeds. All right, so that is all set. The box is done. So at this point, let's make sure we are squawking the squawk code we were given, which is 4311. And I think we are all set. Go ahead and lock the door. And at this point, just double checking everything is set the way I want it. Yeah, we'll do our before push checklist. Let's get the tug hooked up in the meantime.
Cockpit to ground. This is ground. Stand by.
Let's wait for that tug to get connected there. We'll get the outside view. Cool thing I like to point out.
The bypass beam is installed. All doors and hatches closed and all ground equipment is removed. The parking brakes are set. You may lift.
So there's a light here.
Parking brake set. Lifting the aircraft.
And this red light. Oh, hey, Ivan. Good to see you again over on YouTube. We got a few viewers tonight, which is nice and fun. So this red light means that the brakes are engaged, and it kind of signals to the ground crew that the brakes are engaged. If I were to take off the parking brake, that red light would go away. One of those little details that I just really appreciate about this fly-by-wire mod. They've really, they're committed to attention to detail, and I do appreciate that.
Close 3131, runway 16 left, clear to
land.
land.
So, before start checklist, cockpit prep is complete. Gear pins and covers are removed, signs are on and auto. Let's get seatbelt sign on, get the fuel pumps on. So that is set. IRSs are on nav, fuel quantity is set, takeoff data is set, bow ref is set. Before start checklist to the line. So let's go below the line. Windows and doors are closed. A beacon is coming on to signal that we're going to be starting our engines just now. Thrust levers are on idle. Parking brake is on. And before start checklist is complete. So let's go ahead and get our push clearance. Sydney approach, Qantas 9084 at Bay 35 with Golf, ready for push and start.
Qantas 984, pushback approved.
Approved, Qantas 984. All right, let's do it.
Sydney departure, helicopter Tango Whiskey Alpha at the GA ramp. We'd like to request a VFR departure to south-southwest, and if possible, we'd like to depart from the ramp with Golf.
Okay, couple together there. The helicopter traffic standby. The aircraft go ahead.
Parking brakes are released.
Snowbird 2 requesting taxi to 16 right.
Start the engine.
Snowbird 2, can you accept intersection Golf departure?
A-front, Snowbird 2.
Snowbird 2, taxi holding point Golf, runway 16 right, report ready.
All right, ignition.
Taxi holding
Engine
point
2.
Golf 16 right will report ready, Snowbird 2.
Helicopter traffic, go ahead now.
This is helicopter Tango Whiskey Alpha at the GA ramp to request a VFR departure to the south-southwest, and if possible we would like to depart from the ramp with Golf.
I have a Tango Yankee Alpha flight plan, but no Tango Whiskey Alpha.
Sorry, that's Tango Yankee Alpha.
Tango Yankee Alpha. Cleared Shell Harbour, departure to the southwest, not above 3000, squawk 1702.
Cleared to Shell Harbour, with southwest, not above 3000, squawk 1702. Tango Yankee Alpha.
Tango Yankee Alpha, report ready to lift.
Reporting ready to lift. Tango Yankee Alpha.
Please set your parking brake.
Parking brake set.
Parking brake set. Lowering
City
aircraft.
departure, Whiskey Papa Lima, IFR taxi.
All right, engine 1, start.
Ground. You may disconnect.
Okay, sir.
Whiskey Papa Lima.
Timer running.
Squawk Mode Charlie.
Good flight.
Holding position waiting for the visual. Thank you and
Squawk
goodbye.
Mode Charlie, Whiskey Papa Lima.
All right, so we'll multitask a little bit. While that's spooling up, we'll get something set for our taxi. So we'll get our taxi lights going, strobes
Whiskey
auto.
Papa Lima, thanks. Taxi holding point Golf, runway 16 right, and report ready to copy IFR clearance.
Spoilers engaged.
Taxi holding point Golf, runway 16 right, and we'll report when ready for IFR clearance. Whiskey Papa Lima.
Flaps set for takeoff. ATC on standby. Or on auto, rather.
Helicopter Tango Yankee Alpha is ready to lift.
Tango Yankee Alpha, hold position, short delay for arrival on 16 left.
Pitch
Yankee
trim.
Alpha.
I think it was up 0.8. What was it? Up 0.8. And we'll wait for the engine to start. Oh, good engine start. So we'll set engine mode back to normal. We'll do our after start checklist. So anti-ice is not needed. ECAM status is checked. Pitch trim is set. Rudder trim is 0. After start checklist complete. So we'll go ahead and take the APU bleed off and turn the APU off since we're now on engine power. And the last thing we'll do before we start, before we request taxi clearance, actually two things. We'll test our flight controls. So full left, full right, neutral, full down,
Tango Yankee Alpha.
full up,
After departure.
neutral, and rudder disconnect, full
Track
left,
via the runway 25 center
full
line
right,
until the threshold of runway 07,
and
then
neutral.
departure to the southwest approved. Clear for takeoff.
The next thing we'll do is just, before we request taxi to 16 right, we'll just kind of predict what route we may be assigned to take.
Tango Yankee Alpha, after takeoff, track via the runway 25 center line until the threshold of runway 07, then left turn southwest departure approved. Cleared for takeoff.
So we'll probably take Charlie 2
On
to
departure,
Bravo
after departure,
to
hold
Bravo
short
2.
at the center line on runway 25 to the threshold of 07, and left turn southwest departure approved. Tango Yankee Alpha.
Tango Yankee Alpha, you nearly got it. The first bit of that was track via the runway 25 center line. No need to hold.
Via the runway 27 center line. Thanks. Tango Yankee Alpha.
Snowbird 2 is fully ready, holding short of 16 right.
Snowbird 2, runway 16 right, line up and wait.
Line up and wait, 16 right, Snowbird 2.
Sydney approach, Qantas 3131, exited 16 left at Tango 3.
Qantas 3131 via Tango Sierra Lima Bravo, hold short runway 07.
Tango Sierra Lima Bravo, hold short runway 07. Qantas 3131.
Whiskey Papa Lima ready for clearance.
Whiskey Papa Lima cleared to Albury. Climb to 3000, Sydney 2 departure, runway 16 right.
Cleared Albury, flight plan route, climb 3000, Sydney 3 departure, 16 right. Whiskey Papa Lima.
It's a shame about that model
Whiskey
matching.
Papa Lima, I forgot the score code there, 4560.
4560, Whiskey Papa Lima.
Whiskey Papa Lima, report ready.
Whiskey Papa Lima.
Snowbird 2, contacting airborne, runway 16 right, cleared immediate takeoff.
Snowbird 2, cleared for takeoff, and we'll contact you once airborne, Snowbird 2.
Tango Yankee Alpha, give way to the A319 departing 16 right.
I'll give way Tango Yankee Alpha.
Alright, this might be my window here. Sydney approach, Qantas 9084, ready for taxi, 16 right.
Qantas 9084, taxi holding point Bravo 2, runway 16 right, report ready.
Hold Bravo 2 will report ready at 16 right, Qantas 9084. Alright, so I guess we're free to taxi wherever we want.
Runway 16 right.
Whiskey Papa Lima, runway 16 right, line up and wait.
Alright, so apply some power.
16 right, line up and wait, Whiskey Papa Lima.
We'll start setting other aspects for takeoff off, so max braking. We'll use our rudders to keep us straight, and then we'll use our tiller to make the hard turns. So we'll track this next right turn here. Not sure how accurate these lines are. You normally don't see brakes, but we'll go ahead and start a nice easy turn. I think we have plenty of room.
Snowbird 2 is passing 1,400.
Snowbird 2 identified, climb via SID, flight level 280, cancel speed.
Climb by the SID, flight level 280 and will cancel speed restrictions, Snowbird 2.
We're looking for Bravo.
Sydney approach, hello. Qantas 521 requesting IFR clearance to Oakland.
Oakland, that's a long flight.
Qantas 521, Sydney approach,
I'm already lost.
to
Okay.
Auckland.
This next one's Bravo.
By Yvonne, planned route. Runway 16 right. Campy 5 departure, radar transition. Climb via SID 5000, squawk 1223, and departures with me.
ATC on.
Copy that, clear to Oakland.
Weather system is on.
Campy 5 departure.
Slow down for this turn.
16 right for departure, initial climb 5000, and squawk 1223.
Right, we'll follow this to Bravo 2 is our hold point for takeoff.
Qantas 521. Tango Yankee Alpha, expedite past 16 right, thanks.
I'm crossing
So
16 right, Tango Yankee Alpha.
Before takeoff to the line, flight controls are checked, flight instruments are checked, briefing's confirmed, flap setting is set, V speeds and flex speed are confirmed. ATC is set. Let's do our departure call.
Flight attendants, please prepare for takeoff.
And takeoff config, TCAF, ECAM memo no blue. Before takeoff checklist to the line.
Whiskey Papa Lima, assigned heading will be right 180.
Assigned heading will be right, 180, Whiskey Papa Lima.
Alright, Bravo 2 should be the next one to our left.
What will be the approach frequency after takeoff, Whiskey Papa Lima?
Whiskey Papa Lima, departures with me.
Whiskey Papa Lima.
Alright, we'll try to get things ready.
Whiskey Papa Lima, contact me airborne, runway 16 right, clear for takeoff.
Contact you when airborne at 16 right, clear to take off Whiskey Papa Lima.
That's why I multitask. This is why you have a co-pilot to do all these tasks while you're also trying to steer the thing. I'll just hold short and finish the prep. I'm not going to be in a rush. I don't think there's anyone behind me anyway.
Qantas 3131 on Bravo, cross runway 25 to your bay.
Cross runway 25 to the bay, Qantas 3131.
Alright, Bravo 2, we'll get the rest of our lights on. We'll do before takeoff checklist below the line. Runway confirmed, cabin crews advised, TCAS is on TARA, it is now. Engine mode is on normal, packs are off for the takeoff. We'll do that right before we take the runway. So we are ready to go, everyone. Sydney approach, Qantas 984 is holding at Bravo 2, ready for takeoff.
Qantas 984, runway 16 right, line up and wait.
Lining up and we'll wait. Qantas 984.
Sydney approach, velocity 957 with information Gulf, request airways clearance to Brisbane.
Velocity 957, departures, g'day, cleared to Brisbane via Kevin, planned route, correction via Intl, planned route. Runway 16 left, Kevin 6 departure, enter transition, climb via SID 5000, squawk 3211, and departures with me.
Clear to Brisbane via Enter flight plan route, Kevin 6 departure, runway 16 left, enter transition, climb via the SID 5000, squawk 3211, departures on 124.4.
I'm so happy with that lineup.
Velocity 957.
So just have to wait for takeoff clearance now.
Sydney Tower with Papa Lima departed Sydney, heading 180, climbing 3000.
Whiskey Papa Lima, verify passing altitude.
Passing 2400, climbing 3000.
Whiskey Papa Lima, thanks identified. Maintain present heading, climb 3000.
Maintain present heading, climb 3000, Whiskey Papa Lima.
Tango Yankee Alpha, verify passing altitude.
1,000 feet. Tango Yankee Alpha.
Tango Yankee Alpha identified, climb to and maintain 2000.
Climb to and maintain 2000. Tango Yankee Alpha.
Tango Yankee Alpha, short delay at that level for traffic that'll be crossing from your left to right, 1000 above.
Traffic 1000 above and we'll short delay.
You see the traffic here on the ND.
Whiskey Papa Lima, turn right, track direct Cordo, plan route.
Turn right, track direct Cordo, flight plan route, Whiskey Papa Lima.
Qantas 984, contact me airborne, runway 16 right, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff, 16 right, Qantas 984. Here we go.
Qantas 521 at the International Terminal, stand 36.
Turn those packs off.
Pushback.
Qantas 521,
And 1 to
pushback approved.
50%, and it's stable.
Pushback approved, Qantas 521.
Flex SRS runway. We're off. And we're going to stay on this frequency. Once we're have a lower workload, we'll contact approach.
Snowbird 2, you're leaving my airspace to the southwest. No
knots.
further ATC available. Radar and identification services terminate. Monitor Unicom 122.8. Have a good flight. G'day.
I would see Unicom 122.8. Have a nice day, number 2.
V1 rotates 15 degrees. Positive rate gear up. And we'll go ahead and get autopilot on just to reduce our workload. Heading to dunes. Spoilers disarmed. We'll get to acceleration altitude and then we'll call approach. Get those packs back on now.
And to the garage, g'day, velocity 947.
Velocity 947, approach, g'day. Cleared to Brisbane via Intl, planned route. Runway 16 left, Kevin 6 departure, Intl transition. Climb via SID 5000.
Thrust climb.
Squawk 3637, and departures with me.
Wait for the readback and then we'll give them a call.
Roger, velocity 947 is cleared through to Brisbane by Intl flight plan route.
Well, thanks,
Kevin
Ivan.
6 departure, runway 16 left. Climb by the SID 5000, squawk 3637, and departures with you on 124.4, but velocity 947.
Velocity 947.
Sydney approach, Qantas 9084, passing 2500 for 5000.
Qantas 984 identified, climb via SID, flight level 280, cancel speed.
Climb via the SID to 280, cancelling speed, Qantas 9084. So let's just make sure the SID doesn't have posted altitude restrictions, and then we'll just go up to 280. Yeah, we are good. So we'll get to thrust climb, open climb. Up we go. All right. We're on our way with ATC coverage. That was fun. That was fun. It is late here in the East Coast United States. I'm going to be up longer than I should.
Tango Yankee Alpha, re-cleared not above 3000.
Re-cleared not above 3000, Tango Yankee Alpha.
My kids have swim school in the morning. I'm going to be groggy. I don't care. This is way too much fun.
And velocity 947 at crest push.
Velocity 947, pushback approved.
So,
push approved, velocity 947.
After takeoff, checklist, landing gears up, flaps are retracted, packs are on, bow ref is set, and we're cleared past transition, so we'll just get that to standard pressure now.
957,
Oh, look at those clouds.
Velocity 957, maintain on separation from company, mode Charlie, pushback approved.
Maintain separation from company, mode Charlie, push approved, velocity 957.
I mean, it was a shame about the model matching fiasco with AIG Manager, but the ATC coverage, the busy traffic, the clouds and departure, this is all so worth it. So I hope you guys don't mind that we didn't get the model matching. I feel like I'm being disingenuous with the title of the stream right now. We played with AIG traffic, but it ended up playing us, unfortunately.
Cross 984, turn right, track direct to Richmond, planned route.
Track direct to Richmond, planned route, Qantas 984. Alright, let's go direct to Richmond. Direct Richmond.
Qantas 521, ready for taxi.
And here we go.
Qantas 521, taxi holding point Alpha 1, runway 16 right, via Golf Alpha, report ready.
Taxi to holding point Alpha 1 via Golf and Alpha, Qantas 521, reporting ready.
So here's something interesting. So
departure, was it 2000 or 3000 for Tango Yankee Alpha?
Tango Yankee Alpha, not above 3000.
Not above 3000, Tango Yankee Alpha, thanks.
So it's going to try to get us back on that track.
Papa Lima request, climb to 8000.
So
Whiskey Papa Lima, climb to maintain 8000.
I probably should have gone into heading mode.
8000, Whiskey Papa Lima.
To at least get the turn going, and then when I was like in relative straight shot of Richmond, then I should have done the direct.
Chester 814, Sydney approach, g'day, clear to Brisbane via Intl, planned route. Runway 16 left, cabin 6 departure, enter transition. Climb via SID 5000, squawk 4274, and departures with me.
So what I'm going to do is once Richmond comes around,
to Brisbane via Intl, planned route, runway 16 left, cabin 6 departure, enter transition, climb via SID 5000, squawk 4274, departures with yourself, and we are bay 54, just to 814.
Just to 814.
I'll do another direct command, so we don't have to
Papa Lima, climb flight level 140.
Climb flight
just
level
get that ready.
140, Whiskey Papa Lima.
Direct Richmond. And once that is dead ahead of us, roughly, give us time to turn out. So let's see, when we're facing 305, let's go ahead and do direct again. And see if it'll let us go.
General
Yeah, there we
broadcast
go.
to the information hotel is available.
We'll go nice and straight. So we don't have to overturn. We could go truly direct to Richmond. And then on our way. Even still, we are... Yeah, that's fine. Why are we still turning? That was weird. So I took the autopilot off. Oh. Just to get us back on track. So that may have been a fly-by-wire bug, because it's still saying we are like miles off from our track. But let's try direct to Richmond again. Well, first let's go into heading mode. We don't want to over confuse it. So now we're just going to do manual heading. Get autopilot back on. And now let's try direct to Richmond again. It feels like it's a heavier bank than it needs to be, but is it going to bank back? No, it's not. This is bugging out. So I'm going to hand fly to Richmond.
Velocity 947, request taxi 16 left.
Velocity 947, taxi holding point Bravo 1016 left, cross runway 07, report ready.
And you can see the flight director wants us to go all the way to the right, but it should converge
Bravo 1016 left
as we get close to Richmond.
And we're ready for velocity 947.
So we'll go back to heading mode.
Whiskey Papa Lima, position report.
Whiskey Papa Lima, not necessary, you're under radar control.
Whiskey Papa Lima, thank you.
Velocity 957, ready for taxi, runway 16 left.
Velocity 957, taxi holding point Bravo 1016 left, cross 07, give way to company or follow company.
Taxi holding point Bravo 10, cross 07, taxi follow the company, velocity 957.
So instead of
ready to go at Alpha 1.
Instead of direct, I'm just going to go back to manage heading.
521, contact me airborne, runway 16 right, clear for takeoff.
Runway 16 right, clear for takeoff, and contact D1 airborne, Qantas 521.
It's not liking it. It's so weird. Alright, so let's just cross Richmond.
Velocity 1166, 10 miles north of Borry, request clearance via S16 left.
Velocity 1166, city approach, today, stand by, call you back. Velocity 1166, squawk 3620.
Squawk 3620, velocity 1166.
Yeah, I see that track distance reducing. So it thinks we are 2 miles left of the actual track it wants us to be on. But that track is going to Richmond as well. So as we get closer to Richmond and we converge on it,
1166 identified.
That will get closer.
Sydney, Borry 3, Alpha arrival, runway 16 left, descend by star 8000, QNH 1012.
So once that converges to near 0 and I go back to manage heading mode and we start following GPS,
Borry 3 Alpha
we should be
arrival,
good.
16 left, descend via the star 8000, QNH 1012, velocity 1166.
That's completely missing my flows because of all this distraction. Get these lights off now because we're well above 10,000. Alright, that looks good.
Qantas 521 airborne.
Qantas 521, verify passing altitude.
700 feet, Qantas 521.
Qantas 521 identified, climb flight level 280.
Alright, Criv, yeah, have a good night yourself. Thanks for the subscribe and hope to see you again soon. And good luck on your PPL. I'm jealous. I'm probably a year away from that myself.
Kansas speed, Qantas 521.
Qantas 984, you're climbing above my airspace, no further ATC available. Radar and identification services terminate. Monitor Unicom 122.8, have a good flight, g'day.
Heading over Unicom, thanks for the service today, Qantas 984. Alright, going over to 122.8, it will be a lot quieter there.
Whiskey Papa Lima, you're leaving my airspace to the southwest, no.
And there we are. Good old Unicom. Yeah, so he was controlling, I think, below 25,000 feet, maybe 24.5 to be exact. And we'll see. Let me check if we're going to have coverage when we get to Brisbane. See what it looks like now. So Brisbane, we have ATIS information, which will be nice. I'm unclear if there'll be ATC bringing us in, but we'll at least be able to use the simulator to get our approach information. And I think at this point, we're about to approach Richmond. I'm going to go back to manage heading mode, the GPS take over, and we're going to Boree now. Okay, so I'll just let it get us back on track at this point. We are at the initial cleared altitude, but since we're in Unicom, we're no longer under ATC, we're going to clear ourselves to our cruise level as well. So we're heading up to 390. Actually, let me double check the flight plan because I don't remember now. 390, that's correct. So let's go on up. Get some more speed efficiencies up there. And we can get a sense at this point for how long it will take us to get to Brisbane. It won't be a very long flight. So we're expected there at 5:40 Zulu. That will go down as we continue to pick up speed. And that is just under an hour from now. So I think in about 10 minutes, maybe when we get to cruise, we can start briefing for our arrival. Because you kind of want to get that ATIS, I think, within 40 minutes of arrival, to make sure that you're working with the latest weather. And if you're going to be crossing over an update point, or you think you are, it's probably good to refresh your ATIS when you're a bit closer. I don't know how the actual commercial jetliners actually do it. That just seems to make sense to me. That if your ATIS information is like nearing the hour mark, especially if you're flying into weather where I think sometimes they update it even more frequently, it's good to just make sure that you're operating with the latest info. With ATC coverage, they're usually good about that. They kind of announce when information's updated, or they give you the latest weather during the approach. But we'll be doing mostly approach ourselves. So look at that cloud. That is awesome. I've been to Australia once for a cousin's wedding years ago. I need to go back. It was a stunning experience. Alright, so we're going to keep that seatbelt sign on probably for the duration. We saw pretty high shear rates on the flight plan, and you kind of get a sense if we're hitting turbulence, like the indicated airspeed kind of fluctuates up and down. We'll see fluctuations in our vertical speed. Get a bit closer here so we can get a better look. So that's a kind of good sign that that you're getting some bumps, even though you can't feel it in the seat in your basement. Another way to check, which is actually a cool feature, is if you go to Showcase, you can kind of see it here too, but I can see it from inside. One of the over the wing. Which one is it? There we go. From this seat, you can kind of see vibrations in the wing as we go over rough areas. See, there you go. It's kind of flexing up and down. That is turbulence. And it kind of makes you wonder, like, why the person in the seat doesn't shit their pants more often. But that's how you go. So on the flight plan, so I'm using the EasyJet format because I find it's the easiest to read. And they put information that you need kind of front and center for the A320 setup. So like they have the average tropopause here, which is what you need to know about tropopause. That's effectively the altitude where weather ends. So if you're above that, you're not going to be flying into cloud, or you're pretty guaranteed to not fly into cloud. But here they also post the max shear rate of 6.4, and I believe anything above 4 is considered fairly turbulent. And it also gives you the waypoint on your route where to expect max turbulence. So if we go into the flight plan detail down here, we get a sense of where Lascaux is. It's somewhere past our expected top of climb. But if you go down even further, you get these nice little summaries of weather conditions at various altitudes, at various waypoints along your route. So during the climb, these are the wind speeds, temperatures, and wind speed direction at these different altitudes. So right now we're on our climb where we are passing through 330. So the weather is expected to be somewhere between these two. So about, let's say, negative 42 degrees, and wind is coming out of like the 300s at like 50 knots. So let's see what the reality is real quick. Yeah, 300s, north of 30, and the temperature is what? Yeah, like negative 44. So that's all in the ballpark. But it also gives you your shear rates at these various waypoints. So sortie is pretty heavy. Lascaux we know is max from the top of the operating flight plan, and then it kind of goes down from there. But it's still high enough that, you know, I'll probably keep the seatbelt sign on the whole way and just piss off the passengers. That's fine. They don't exist anyway. Going to take a quick look at traffic as well. I see us on the VATSIM map, Qantas 9084. There's a decent amount of traffic at Brisbane, kind of flying around and on the ground. So we will probably get... Oh, and Brisbane Tower is on. So, well, yeah, so we won't get approach. We'll get landing clearance from them. And they'll give us kind of ground instructions. So I'll expect them to ask me to tune over to them at some point, and we'll pre-program the frequency well in advance just to make sure that we can switch over easily when they do give us a call. Alright, so we're looking at, let's see, maybe another 4 minutes until top of climb. See if that time has gone down. Yeah, it's gone down modestly. So I think by the time we get to top of climb, let's say around 5 Zulu, then we'll start going through the descent and approach prep. The folks that have joined in before, I'm not sure if I seem more confident tonight than I was when we left Adelaide. It's because I absolutely am. I think I was completely taken off guard. We weren't expecting ATC coverage. I was not really mentally preparing for having to manage the radios while managing everything else on the way to Melbourne. But it just kind of happened that way. As soon as I took off, I got like the big banner on my screen that said, please contact me on X frequency. I'm like, oh shit, like, do I have everything ready? I didn't get my IFR clearance. Like, suddenly my brain just flooded with unnecessary workload. And it was hard for me to shake it like the whole rest of the way. That I just kept making mistakes. It was a good lesson, right? Like in the real world, like you're always, like ATC is there. Like they're not going to surprise you or abandon you. Like if you're going to an uncontrolled airport, you're usually pretty aware that's uncontrolled. But in the safe, fake sim world, yeah, it could still really freak you out. Tonight though, was mentally prepared. I kind of did some practice on my notepad here. Made sure I knew my charts ahead of time, and it was fairly smooth. So now that we're in cruise, definitely feel free to hit me up with questions if there's anything you want to learn more about. Again, I'm not a commercial airline pilot. I don't have a PPL. I am in the prep stages of going for my private and my instrument rating. Although I haven't actually sat in a general aviation aircraft yet, but I've learned a ton about navigation, communications, IFR navigation. While you should never use my advice for real-world flying, I'm happy to impart what I've learned. But always good to make sure you're getting instruction from the professionals if you're planning to do this for real. My advice is good for simming, let's put it that way. Alright, inbound Craven. Let's get a wider view of our route here. Nice straight shot pretty much all the way. And as you can see, we haven't actually programmed in our approach, so our plan ends at Blacka, which is not the airport, but that will fill in once we get ATIS information and we can kind of make assumptions about what our approach is going to be. So we've quite a few folks watching tonight between YouTube and Twitch. We'd love to know if any of you guys are pilots yourselves, or aspire to be, or if you're just avid simmers. I find the sim community and the general aviation community is a pretty small and tight-knit one, pretty supportive, which is awesome. So happy to pay that forward. Love to hear what your hopes and dreams of aviation are. Or we can enjoy the silence. That works too. Alright, we're just about to cruise. Let's do one last check. Expecting UTC 40. That's going to go up, of course, once we get the star programmed in, because that won't be a direct, depending on what runway we're flying into. Whoa! Whoa! Master alarm, what is going on? Overspeed. That looked like a real world weather bug to me. It's been months since that was a thing, and now we're also over maximum altitude. Whew. That, my friends, was absolutely a Microsoft bug.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, once again from the flight deck, your captain speaking. We've just reached our cruising altitude for the flight. As it begins to settle in, I do want to remind you to please keep your feet and elbows clear from the aisle, as the flight attendants will be coming through the cabin with galley carts shortly. Also, one more reminder to please refrain from congregating near the front galley where the flight deck door is located. Thank you.
Alright, well hopefully that doesn't happen again, because that was awful. We are at flight level 390. And I'll give it a minute just to make sure we're nice and stable. And then we'll get our ATIS information from Brisbane and then start preparing for the approach. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Brisbane? Brisbane? Brisbane feels like... I feel like that's how Australians would say it. It would have been really frustrating if that overspeed bug caused us to overstress the aircraft and it just crashed. Because I have none of the safeties on. I fly with all the safeties off. Oh my god, here we go. Come on. Push that nose down. What is going on? Autopilot. Getting G-load warnings. Alright, I'm going to go down to flight level 370. Everything seems to be breaking. Alright. Let's descend, because this seems to be happening at the ceiling. Hopefully a lower flight level. We won't encounter this. This is so weird. This has never happened before. This doesn't seem to be quite like the live weather bug, because in the live weather bug, we saw the outside air temperatures going absolutely insane. Let's see if at a lower altitude we can maintain speed. Really seems to be struggling right now. Everything is set correctly. What I just did, I just turned the airport view on in case we need to land in an emergency. Alright, Mach Alt Star. Engines are spooling back up because we're leveling out. Still very happy with my decision to keep the seatbelt sign on. Alright. All cruise. You tell it's still bumpy. And the weather looks crazy ahead of us. It's like a whiteout conditions there. Alright. So, let's assume we're stable. And let's start prepping for our approach. So there is ATIS information available on VATSIM. Let's go ahead and request it via the box. We get it in nice textual form instead of having to listen to a robotic voice. So ATIS, that's our destination airport of Brisbane. We want the arrival, and go ahead and send. New cruise altitude. That's right. Did I hit send? It says sent. Something I did. Should have been paying attention. We'll wait for the company message sign to come up here in like about a minute or two, and then we'll read our weather. Yeah, that was intense. Did I hit send? Pretty sure I hit send. Yeah, I did hit send. There's the company message sign right there. Back to the box. Go to receive messages. This is our latest ATIS for Brisbane. Correct. We'll print it. I won't bother to read it. Something about the green text and the way it's all squished. I'd rather just read it on the paper. So we'll walk ourselves through it once it prints. Here it comes. All right, let's take a look. So actually I'll do it from, can I do it from this view? No, I can't really see it from there. Alright, this is it. So ATIS for Brisbane, information Bravo, 27th of the month, time 455 Zulu. So this is old. We should hopefully expect an update soon. Unless the controller is offline, and then we won't get an update. But approach, expect instrument approach runway 1 left, arrival and departing. So good, we know our runway. I'll write that down. Always good to copy down your ATIS information, even if you're simming. So, information Bravo, and runway 1 left. Conditions wet, yes, because it's raining there. Info, start clearance required, apron access, we don't need any of that information. Refer to NOTAMs for taxiway and runway closures. Right, we should take a look at that. Wind is 140 at 8. Although we don't have to, it's the same, we won't worry about taxiway NOTAMs. Visibility 6 kilometers, weather is light showers and rain, that's the minus SHRA, that's what that stands for. Overcast 1100, temperature 23, and QNH 1004. So we'll definitely check the weather parameters again, but we'll assume that runway 1 left will persist, and that's what we'll prep for. So let's pull up our charts. We can get rid of our Sydney charts. And we can pull up our Brisbane charts. So I realized I never really talked about what this add-in is. This does not come stock with Microsoft Flight Simulator. This is an add-on. It's Navigraph Charts. It's a subscription. I forget what the monthly subscription is. It's not terribly expensive if you're simming a lot. If you're simming like once a month, it's probably too much. There are multiple ways to get charts, but this is just a really nice integration because you could load your flight plans from SimBrief, which is a free service for flight planning. And it has all the latest Jefferson's charts, and you're never behind on the revisions to the charts. You always get the latest charts on the day those new charts come out in real life. Okay, so let's get taxi airport information. That's not the right one. This one. This airport information. And here we see a runway. That was one right. Oh no, one left. So one left is what we're expecting. It's slightly shorter than one right, but that's what the ATIS says for arrivals, so we'll follow the ATIS. So one left, relatively straight in from this direction, so we'll see what stars are appropriate. I think our flight plan was not. It was not for one left. Let's see. It was for 19 left. So we were originally going to come in this runway going the opposite direction. But the ATIS is the ATIS. I'm just corroborating that information with VATSIM map. And yes, one left, arrival and departing. So that is correct. That is the latest, and that's from the tower controller who's currently online. So he'll probably be updating that shortly since it's more than an hour old, but we'll go with it for now. Okay, so one left. So let's come back out and take a look at one left approaches, right? So in our flight plan here, we can change our runway. We're going to do the ILS runway one left, and it looks like they have dedicated, these look like possibly stars, I don't know, there may be transitions. So ILS runway one left, and let's zoom in here and get a visual of the arrivals for one left. So we're heading to Blocka, so Blocka for Alpha, perfect. That looks like the exact right arrival. So let's take a look at that chart. Is there a way to see it from here? I'll just do it the way I know how. So we'll go here, go to charts list, stars, Blocka 4. We're looking for the, well, they're all RNAV. So one left. And this looks correct. And for the approach, we want the chart for one left. We want the ILS. Boom. Okay, so let's take a closer look. So alright, so from Blocka, which is where we're heading, for one left, okay, so initial descent restriction here is 8,000, so we want to be at 8,000 or above at Velka, and you know it's above because 8,000 is above the line. Bertu, you need to be below 9,000, so we'll plan to be at 8,000 by Velka. So just so that we're prepared for that, we're going to go to our descent calculator, get our current altitude. We want to be at 8,000. Oop, what happened? Too many zeros. 8,000. And so we want to start our descent about 90 miles away from Velka. So we'll round that up to like 95 to give us a little buffer. And we'll go into our box. Go to our flight plan. This is a little trick because the current mod for the A320 that I'm using doesn't calculate top of descent for you. You kind of have to estimate it yourself. So we'll go to fix info. We'll put in Velka. That's the waypoint we want a fix for. And then we could use this radius input to put in 95 nautical miles. And what that will do is on our flight plan, our navigation display, it will draw a circle with a 95-mile radius around that waypoint, so we know that when we cross the boundary of that circle, we can start our descent. Oh, I'm getting rated. That's never happened before. Thank you, MoDaddy. That was awesome. And I think I just got a sub. Yeah, Mo Daddy, thank you for the sub. I really appreciate it. Or the follow. I don't know what the Twitch nomenclature is, so apologies, but whatever you just did, very appreciative. Awesome. And good evening to you as well. All right, so that is our top of descent point, so that's all programmed in. Let's go back to the charts and take a look. So there's a nice little descent profile there. There is a speed restriction we need to be aware of, so we'll want to be at below 230 knots there. And then TANIC rather, it looks like the initial approach fix, will want to be at 185. So this means we'll want to configure well in advance of this, meaning we'll want to we'll get the plane into approach mode, which automatically slows the plane depending on your flap settings, and we'll just make sure with the appropriate flap setting to get us below 185 knots by TANIC. There is the ILS for one left that should be programmed in once we prepare the box, and I'm not seeing any other radio-based navigation aids like VORs or ADFs, so we don't need to worry about RadNavs. Alright, and for the actual approach itself, so from TANIC, again we need to be at max 185 knots, so that's consistent. And here we go, here's our, I think that's the final approach fix. I still get the signage mixed up from times. But in any case, we're flying ILS, which gives us horizontal and vertical navigation. So it will descend us along this path, this glide path here, which is at 3 degrees, which is pretty standard, all the way to runway 13. We'll probably fly manually the last 1,000 to 500 feet or so, depending on visibility. It will be raining, so visibility is low. We may actually do an auto land. We'll see. That's assuming this is a Cat 3 ILS, and that's kind of unclear. I'm going to assume not. Well, how high is the runway? Touchdown's 53 above, so that's 150 above. So yeah, that may not be Cat 3. So what this means is what we're going to do is that if we can't see the runway when we're 200 feet above the ground and less than a kilometer away, then or we can't see that far down the runway at that minimum, then we'll do a go around. But we should be fine. I'm not too concerned. I don't think ceilings will be that low. All right, before I talk myself beyond my expertise, I am going to get out of this. Oh, there's a Brisbane VOR, so we will program that in. We can go ahead and get all this information into the box. I also want to keep track of our top of descent because we're approaching it pretty quick. All right, so going to our flight plan, going to our destination, we want to program in our arrival. We know from our ATIS information that we're going to be doing the ILS for one left, and we're doing the Balaka for alpha, and our transition point is TANIC to the final approach. So go ahead and insert that. And it's going to go ahead and reprogram a bunch of stuff, but we'll go step by step through the new flight plan and just make sure that it all makes sense. So there's Balaka. Let's get a bit more zoomed in. There's Balaka. Let's make sure that's not repeated. Yeah, so Gamble to Balaka, Velka, Bertie, all the way to TANIC, and then LUTSI to the runway. And I think that's all consistent with what we saw in the charts. There's LUTSI, perfect. That all looks good. All right, so next up is the RadNavs page. We can go ahead and clear our Sydney RadNav, and we want Brisbane, which is Bravo November. That was the code for that VOR. 189 nautical miles, that sounds like Brisbane to me, and we can just confirm the frequency on the chart, 113.2, 113.2. It all lines up. It's very nice when it all lines up. All right, let's go to fuel prediction real quick. We're looking good for both our destination and our alternate in terms of fuel, so I'm not worried about that. Performance, we'll give it a bit of time before we program that in case there is new ATIS information available. Oh, and thank you, Mo Daddy. I appreciate that. It's kind of a pet peeve of mine. If I don't sound smart, I don't feel good about it. So I've learned how to fake it till I make it, let's just say. Alright, so what we'll next do, let's say when we're about 40 miles away from our descent point, we'll check to see if there's new ATIS and weather information available, and then we'll put in all of our arrival information to the box for the approach phase. But for now, we can just chill out for a few minutes. All right, enjoy your meal, Mo Daddy. We'll be landing. Let me give you a timestamp for that. We expect to arrive at 5:45 UTC, so about half an hour. Was that another? Did I get another sub? Ah, thanks, Mo Daddy, for the. Oh, okay. I thought you'd followed before. The last sound I heard was the raid. The sound I just heard now was the follow. So appreciate the follow, Mo Daddy. I'm just checking VATSIM as well. Man, a lot of people sim during the day on Sunday in Australia. That's what I'm learning right now. Because there's a lot of us going to Brisbane. There are 3 flights right behind me. And it looks like there's 1 flight on the ground. But all Brisbane has is tower control. So if we hear from them, it'll be at the last minute. Alright, so I think it's safe to check for another... Oh, inter-destination data, perfect. So we're being warned by the plane that we're getting close, so we should get the destination data in. So we're going to ask for another ATIS report. See if it's been updated, because the other one is now well over an hour old. For Brisbane, for the arrival, send. Sending, sent. Okay, so we'll wait for that company message to come up. And I think once we initiate the descent, I'm going to have to take a quick bathroom break. Which feels like the worst timing. You're flying a commercial airliner without a co-pilot, and you're going to go piss on the descent. Not advised. Where is that message? There it is. So, received messages, latest ATIS, and we had Bravo, and now we have Charlie, so it has been updated. Look at that. So we'll print the new one. Wait for that to come out. I'm going to set my, while I'm here, I'm going to set my TCAS to below, which will give us warnings about planes below us. That will be useful when we descend. So we'll want to know if there's any traffic we're descending into. Alright, so, oh, I can't see a damn thing with that glare. Alright, so we'll just read it from the screen from now. So what's changed? Information Charlie, that came out at 11 past the hour, so that's nice and fresh. Still expecting runway 1 left arrival and departing. Wet conditions, that's all the same. New wind information, same direction but slightly less intense, so it's just 140 at 7. Heavier thunderstorms and rain now. Great. Great. This will be fun. Visibility is 2.5 kilometers, so that should be enough for the landing. And ceilings are still like 1100, so that's fine too. Temperature is still 23, and QNH is still 1004. So that's pretty much the same as the last report, but now we have the latest information. We don't need to worry about it. Go to performance. Let's advance to the approach phase and get all that information into the box so the plane knows what to expect. So QNH is 1004. Temperature is 23 degrees. Winds are 140 at 7. And we can check that against our runways. So runway 1. That does make sense, does it? Does that make sense? Or is that more of a... That's going to be a bit of a crosswind, actually. We could program our minimums in now, so we know that for this approach, this ILS approach, the radio minimums are 207. That's 207 feet above the ground. So we're using our radio altimeter to tell us how far above the ground we are versus how far above the sea we are, which is the Barrow setting. And I don't know if like you default to radio when it's available. I think you do. That just seems like logically more accurate because air pressure, your altimeter can change based on weather conditions, but the radio altimeter actually tells you precisely how far above the ground you are. So I think if that's available, that's usually what I put in. And I think, is that it? Oh, transition altitude. So transition altitude is for ascending, transition level is for descending. So I'm not sure if this is wrong in the mod. This should say transition level, but 11,000 is the correct level, so I'm not too concerned about that. And our final approach speed will be 134. Landing speed of 129. And we'll do a full configuration, especially because of the weather. You would do a configuration 3 to save on some fuel, because that means you're landing with less drag and you're burning less fuel. I haven't done a configuration 3 landing yet. Maybe we'll do it during the next happy weather flight. But yeah, that's the story there. So that's all set up. And we're almost at our descent point. Another 10 miles or so. Oh, you're seeing Brisbane approach online as well. Let's see. My VATSIM map late? Well, actually, you know what? We could check in the sim. CG approach. Oh, Brisbane approach. Yeah, 124.7. Thanks for that. So let me write these frequencies down. Well, actually, I'll get 124.7. We'll start monitoring that now. .7. Also don't want to miss our top of descent because we're about to hit it. We're going down to 8,000, so we'll get that into the FMC. And we're over on the frequency, so we'll just monitor that, 124.7. And let's go down. So down we go. And we'll get approach queued up. Sorry, tower queued up. So 120.5. And then when that's queued up, I'm going to take a quick break. And I will be back in a few minutes.
From the flight deck, ladies and gentlemen, as you may have noticed, we have begun our initial descent down to our destination. Now would be a good time to wrap up any business you need to take care of as we prepare for our approach. If you are up, once you return to your seat, we ask that you remain seated until the aircraft arrives safely at the gate. Flight attendants, please prepare the cabin for arrival.
Tango Bravo, Mike, tree 25. Contact Gold Coast approach now, 123.5, see ya.
Gold Coast approach on 1235, TBM 325, thanks for your help, mate.
Corner 632, turn right heading at 280 degrees, approximately 35 to right.
Right, 280 degrees, corner 650 heavy.
Now we're back. Did I miss anything?
Delta Romeo Sierra, leaving my airspace. Wanted to do Unicom Intl.
Radar Control Services, terminate frequency change approach, see ya.
So let's see where Brisbane approach, where we enter their airspace. It should be on the operating flight plan, because I'm not seeing it on the VATSIM map. Usually you can sometimes see the airspace at Brisbane FIR. Oh, that's center. So yeah, it doesn't really tell you where our approach is. But we're definitely in center airspace, but approach should be much closer.
Corner 632, heavy position 6 miles east of the center line. Turn right heading 350 degrees to intercept the ILS. Maintain 4,000 till established. You're cleared the ILS approach, runway 01 left.
1 left, that's confirmed.
Right to heading 350, maintain 4,000 till established, the ILS 01 left, 50 heavy.
Alright, let's make sure we are still on top of our workload. I'm going to do, it's a nice and long runway. Oh, it's wet though. Let's see if we can use this landing calculator to give us expectations. So let's get METAR. Okay, let's get the runway information. For a 1 left, what do we need? Runway slope, it's exactly level, so that's 0. Length in meters is 3,300. Approach speed, what we say, like 1 something. Well, definitely 1 something. 134. The weight's fine. Full flaps, we will have reverse thrust. Runway conditions are wet, but that's not an option. let's say medium. Runway heading is 16. Runway altitude is 13. And calculate. Low's fine. Got plenty for low. Let's just see in worst case scenario. Let's say if it was poor. Well, that doesn't look good. What about medium poor? It's fine. We'll do low. We should get approached pretty soon because we're now inbound Blackout, which is...
632, contact town now 120.5, see ya.
Director 120 to plus 5, you can grab, thank you, 1672 heading.
Passing through some rain. The temperature looks fine, so don't have to worry about icing. And since we're going below transition altitude at this point, I'm going to actually set our QNH to local. That was 1004. Alright. Right now we're just descending to 8,000 feet and we're just waiting for the handoff to approach. We got some traffic down there beneath us. 3,800 feet below, I think, if I'm reading that correctly. But they seem to be moving towards and away, so we should be fine there. Just making sure everything looks good. A rule of thumb I did hear from one of the several pilots I follow on YouTube are just like, if you're if you're the pilot in command and you're not doing something to making sure everything is working fine, like you're not working hard enough. So I'm just like scanning, making sure everything is where I expect it to be. We're now 62 nautical miles from the airport, as indicated by the VOR signal. Oh, we're breaking out of some of these full-on clouds here. That's very cool. Where's approach, man? Look at our approach chart. Why does it do that? There we go. Oh, you can see the bumps. That seatbelt sign, not coming off. We're close enough to 10,000 feet. I'll just do the 10,000 feet checks right now so the landing lights are coming on. And we're going to constraints. And constraints, there we go. There's our altitude constraints all the way through. and some of the speed constraints as well. And now we're inbound Velka. So approach. Do I wait for them to contact us? Let's let them know that we're here. Brisbane approach, Qantas 9084 is with you at 10,700 for 8,000. Inbound Velka. Silence. Okay, is Brisbane... did they just sign off? Brisbane Tower, ATIS. Like CG approach. I don't know what CG is. Oh, it's an airport. We're not going to Gold Coast. Ah, I think they just signed off. Ah, it's so unfortunate. Okay. Alright, well, we're going to be navigating ourselves to runway 1 left. Just going to make sure that I know, or we're going to be, yeah, we'll have plenty of time to decel. So once we get down to Ponad, once we get down to 4,000 rather, we'll think about activating that approach. And in the meantime, I'm going to go over to Tower, start monitoring that frequency. 120.5, just make sure that is correct. Yeah, Brisbane Tower. And I'll get ATIS on the other frequency, 125.5. Just to make sure we still have the latest information. I'm paranoid.
Time check, 0539.
Oh, with Echo now. So we missed Delta.
Brisbane Terminal Information Echo. Expect instrument approach. Runway 01 left arrivals and departures. Wet. High intensity runway lighting operational start clearance request apron access limited expect delay refer to NOTAM for taxiway and runway closures.
Okay, so we'll just change the wind information here. So 180 at 5 is the latest. Alright, we're about to pass Velka, and then we'll be able to get down to 4,000 per the star. So Brisbane is somewhere in that mass of clouds, as apparently that runway is wet. Some thunderstorms and rain. Alright, we're on our way to Bertie, and we can see we need to be below 9,000 and above 4,000 in Ponad, so let's go ahead and get our altitude down. Thrust idle, open descent, down to 4,000. And at this point, we can probably do our approach checklist. So briefing's confirmed, ECAM status is checked. Landing distance is confirmed, seatbelts are on, bow ref is set.
Brisbane terminal information, Foxtrot now apparent. Changes wind, flight
100 degrees, fair to 190 degrees, variable 5 knots. Visibility 4,000 meters, rain in the area, cloud overcast at 900.
Alright, so we're now in Foxtrot. They're updating real quick, probably because of the weather. I didn't get the winds, so we'll just go back to the ATIS frequency.
On first contact with Brisbane ground or approach, notify receipt of information Foxtrot. Time check, 0542.
Alright, so the text here is still Echo, but we'll listen for Foxtrot.
Brisbane terminal information Foxtrot. Expect instrument approach. Runway 01 left arrivals and departures. Wet. High intensity runway lighting operational start clearance request apron access limited expect delay refer to NOTAM for taxiway and runway closures. Wind, varying 100 degrees to 190 degrees, 5 knots. Visibility 4,000 meters.
That's fine, it's variable.
Heavy rain. Cloud overcast 900 feet.
Back to tower. And if we don't hear from them by the time we're established... Oh, we're slowing down. I see we're going down to the speed restriction automatically. But you know what? We're 20 miles away. I think we can go... We can activate the approach. Let's start slowing down. And let's see the altitude that we want to be at to intercept ILS. 4,000. It's great. So we could chill at 4,000. At this point, we'll oh, our flight director's off. That's weird. Turn on landing system, and we'll hold off on activating the approach and the autopilot for now. We're below the glide slopes, that's fine. We just want to get down to 4,000 for sure before we get to that initial approach fix. I think at this point, 6 miles we need to be slower, so speed check to flaps 1. We'll start configuring. That's going to bring the nose up. It's going to slow our descent, but it's also going to slow our speed over the ground. We may use speed brakes if we need to get down faster, but 700 above where we need to be, I think we'll be fine. It's more important to slow down at this point. Look at those clouds. You have to look outside the window every once in a while. Jesus. Oh my god. Alright, speed check to flaps 2. This will get us nice and slow. So we'll chill here. Satisfy the speed restriction. Give us plenty of time to chat with tower if we need to. But we'll hold off on getting that gear down until we're a bit closer. Here comes that initial approach fix. Alright, once we turn Tannic, then we'll get the approach speed alt star. So we're at our appropriate altitude, so that's fine. And we'll turn on the approach once we make this next turn. Alright, activate the approach. So look star, Cat 3 single. So I think we do have auto land then if we need it. I got the second autopilot who will need Cat 3 dual. There we go. Now we have auto land if we need it. Glide slope star. Good. So once we get within 10 miles, then I'll if tower doesn't contact us, I'll contact tower. Let's do it now. Brisbane Tower, Qantas 984 is with you. Established ILS runway 1 left.
Qantas 984, runway 01 left, clear to land.
Clear to land, 1 left, Qantas 984. That was easy. So let's finish configuring. Let's get the gear down, spoilers armed. Get these lights turned on. There's some traffic. About 7 miles to the left, a little bit above us. Speed check flaps 3. So downtown Brisbane, somewhere there. One thing we didn't do is predict where we're going to get off this runway. So let's take a look right here. We are probably maybe Tango 8 or Tango 6, maybe Tango 6. Let's assume Tango 6. And we should choose a gate. Let me get full flaps down real quick. Speed checked, flaps full. Alright, so we have
2,500.
Radio altimeter is alive. We have a minute or two to do this. Should have done this before. I could always ask for a gate, but I like to be prepared. So what do we need? We need chart 10-9 alpha. And let's have a nice long taxi. I downloaded the custom scenery for this, so let's do stand 47, bay 47. All right, let's do our landing checklist.
Flight attendants, please prepare for landing.
There we go. Landing checklist. Cabin crews advised. Auto throttles on speed. Auto brake is set to low. ECAM memo. Landing no blue. Landing checklist completes. We're doing this. Yeah, there's... Oh, geez. That's a crosswind. I have not been practicing crosswinds. That should taper off when we get closer. Right, it should drop below 10 knots. Right now it's kind of hot and heavy. About 20 knots. You can see on the
Brisbane
ND
Tower, this is New Zealand 141.
how we're crabbing here.
New Zealand 141, Brisbane Tower, good day.
Tower, we are 7 DME, runway 01 left, just haven't had any contact.
New Zealand 141, continue approach number 2.
Continue, and we're number 2, thanks to New Zealand 141.
Yep, we're number 1.
1,000.
Brisbane Tower, Air Ambulance 451, we're established runway 01 left.
Air Ambulance 451, Brisbane Tower, good day, continue approach number 3.
They're all coming in behind.
Copy that, number 3. 451.
Yeah, I can't see the runway, so I'm going to stay on I mean, there it is.
500.
Do I go off autopilot? Do I hand fly this? I've never done the auto land. It's pretty foggy. Like, that's pretty shaky. We're about to approach minimums.
100 above. 300.
Alright, I can see it now, so I'm going to go off autopilot. Right at minimums. Listen to that.
Minimum.
Listen
200.
to that.
$100.
Here we go. One left.
50, 40, 30, 20. Retard. 5. 5.
Reverse thrust. Reverse green, decel. Oof. Oof. A little shaky. 70 knots, rolling out.
New Zealand 141, go around, following Mr. Approach procedure. Publish Mr. Approach procedure, rather.
Roger, go around New Zealand 141.
Shame, he was riding our butt.
General broadcast, Brisbane teleinformation Gulf, now current, changes wind 110 degrees to 210 degrees, variable 5 knots, visibility 3,000 metres, thunderstorming rain in the area, cloud broken 900, overcast 1,100, that's Brisbane Gulf.
Brisbane Tower, Qantas 984, clear of runway 1 left at Tango 6, requesting taxi to Bay 47, please.
Qantas 984, taxi Sierra Zulu Alpha to the Bay, g'day.
Sierra Zulu Alpha to the Bay, Qantas 984, thanks so much.
Air Ambulance 451, runway 01 left, clear to land.
1 left, clear to land, ambulance 451.
Alright, quickly, afterlane checklist, flaps are retracted, spoilers disarmed, APU is coming on. Oh, nope. 1, 2, 3. Radar is off. Predictive wind shear is on standby. And let's keep both engines on, because I don't want to deal with the one engine taxi right now. Alright, so what we're doing, Sierra Zulu Alpha. Let's see what that looks like for us. Alright, so a right turn, left turn on Zulu, and then a right turn on Alpha. Nice and easy. Alright, well we made it, everyone. In the rain.
ECL 141. If it's easy for you, I can give you some vectors for the approach again.
The Intl 141, yeah, vectors would be good, sorry, wasn't prepared.
No worries, New Zealand 141, descend 3,000, fly heading 190 degrees.
Down to 3,000 and heading 190, New Zealand 141.
So I wonder if
ambulance 451 vacated on Tango 8 for the general open.
Air Ambulance 451, taxi Sierra 7, Sierra Zulu Bravo. To the GA apron, giving way to the Qantas A320 moving from left to right.
That's me.
Over Sierra 7, Sierra Zulu to the general apron, giving way to the Kiwi.
Kiwi? The Qantas. Qantas.
Tower, this is New Zealand 141. I've just had Centre request me to go over there. Do you want me to go over?
Yeah, that'd be a good idea. 134.2 go.
This controller sounds a little sleepy. Oh, I love it. This is Tango 8. Where's our friend? There he is. Thank you for giving way to me, buddy. Appreciate it. Alright, Zulu's the next left.
Tower, good day. Shandong 7799 at stand 76 Alpha. Information Golf. Request Alpha clearance to Sydney.
Shandong 7799. You're cleared to Sydney via Saneg flight plan route, runway 01 left, Brisbane 4 departure, climb via the SID 6000, squawk 3741, and departures on frequency 134.2.
Shandong clear to Sydney, use runway 01 left, climb to 6,000 feet, squawk 3741. Departure frequency is 134.2, Shandong 7799.
Shandong 7799, call for push and start clearance.
Continue to clean up here. That's one of the coolest things about VATSIM is just like the global nature of it. You hear pilots from all over the world.
Brisbane Tower, good afternoon. New Zealand 802 type B78X. With information Golf requesting IFR to Sydney. New Zealand 802.
New Zealand 802, you're cleared to Sydney via Saneg flight plan route, runway 01 left, Brisbane 4 departure, climb by the SID 6000, squawk 4722, and departures 134.2.
Cleared to Sydney via the flight plan route, Brisbane 4 departure, runway 01 left, initial climb 6000, departure on 134.2, and squawk 4722, New Zealand 802.
New Zealand 802.
Alright, so at the T-junction we'll make a right. I realized the other pilot was right behind me.
Tower, good day, velocity 947 established on the LS 01 left.
Velocity 947.
This felt bad, I was going pretty slow.
Clear land.
Clear to land 01 left, velocity 947.
Alright. We're not going to get a great view of the custom scenery because of all this rain. This is just really dumping on us right now. I feel like the visibility's gotten even worse. If we were a few minutes later, we would have probably had to auto-land. But yeah, so the plane behind us had to go around. I wonder if it's because, you know, we took advantage, we configured really early, just to give us plenty of time to make sure we were good for the landing, which is good for us. And we have to take into account our safety first, right? But I do wonder if that messed up spacing and caused that plane to just get a little too close to us on the approach, causing the go around. Hopefully that pilot had enough time to do a go around. It's always a good practice. I haven't been asked to go around just yet. I do briefings for go arounds just to be prepared for it. We didn't do it on this flight, actually, in retrospect, but hopefully that pilot enjoyed the practice, because it's a real world thing you have to deal with, you know, and sometimes you just gotta go around. Oh, I'm losing all my velocity here, and that was a very late turn. Alright, I think our friend went to the apron over there. Let me get back on the center line. And we're going to be on Alpha all the way down to stand 47. So he gave us directions through to Alpha. I think it's going to be our discretion where to exit. So 47's over here. We can go Charlie 6. It's a bigger airport than I thought. So I didn't know I'm going to be taxiing quite this long. But if you guys are sticking with me here, I appreciate it. We will do the shutdown checklists. Oh, departure star. Oh, that's the Shandong. But I don't think he realizes he's messaging all of us. You could private message controllers here. Brisbane for departure, that's what that is. Can't see the sign. I can never see the signs. Like, I just took a flight, like a real world commercial flight last week, and I'm like, these taxiway signs in real life are way bigger. I probably should shut down the chrono. So I use the chrono to actually track flight time. This clock here is tracking engine time. So let's say we probably got here 10 minutes ago, so an hour and 15, which actually by the flight plan is pretty bang on. What is this? Something 5. What did I just pass? Oh yeah, so it's the next right, Bravo 6. So, custom payware airport is somewhere in there. Getting our money's worth right now. But we'll be departing out of here next time. Where are we going next time? That's a good question. So when we do our next stream, we'll be going from Brisbane to Townsville as we make our way further north. And this should be our right turn here. Is that right? It is, yes. And we'll look for stand 47, or Bay 47 as they say here. So I'm doing a combination of...
947's off on Tango 4 for the Bay.
947 Taxi Sierra Zulu Bravo to the Bay. Good day.
Sierra Zulu Bravo to the Bay, 947. Thanks, Ben.
Which one is 47? Third to last is like the one that points out kind of straight.
Request a pushback and a startup, Shandong 7799.
Shandong 7799, pushback and startup is approved.
I think here it is.
Pushback and a startup approved, Shandong 7799.
Oh, better hurry, I'm going to miss it. Yep, that's 47. A lot of stuff in the way. Not very clear where the line is. There's no one bringing us in. Normally you'd shut off all your lights at this point, just to not blind anyone. Alright, like where do I put this thing? I might just stop it just short here, so I don't actually hit the thing. I don't know if I hit the building, if it gets me in trouble. We'll see if it can actually... Yeah, like how do you do this? Let's see if it can extend to me from here. Well, first, well, I don't want to put my parking brake on yet, so we'll just see. All right, it's moving. It'll connect. So we'll go ahead and put our parking brake on. Confirm the APU is available, which it is. We'll turn on the APU bleed for the cabin, and we'll shut down engines 1 and engines 2. And down they spool. And are we connected? Yes. So you know what? That's not too bad. Come on. That's a fine parking job. Alright, so let's do our parking checklist. APU bleed is on, engines are off, seatbelts. Those poor people, they've been stuck in their seats the whole flight. Seatbelts are off. Exterior lights are as required, so strobes come down, beacon comes off. All taxi and nose wheel lights are off, landing lights are off. We'll keep navigation lights on while we're in here. Fuel pumps can come off now. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And parking brakes engaged. Parking checklist is complete. Alright, so let's go ahead. Let's get external power.
Brisbane Tower, good day, Jetstar 814.
Jetstar 814, runway 01 left, clear to land.
01 left, clear to land, Jetstar 814.
Are they connecting? There we go. And we see, oh, I never turned it off. Oh, that's been on the whole time. I wonder how that works in the real plane. If you disconnect, it just knows to go over to the APU if it's available. Anyway, so that's on. We could turn the APU bleed and the APU master off now. We assume everyone is off the plane, so we'll go into electric power. And we'll start securing the aircraft. So we will get that crew supply off. We'll turn off our IRSs one at a time. Get our get our no smoking signs and emergency lights off. We can bring the nav and logo down at this point. Start getting the lights off. You know what? We should do our final call to ATC as well while we're here. Brisbane Tower, Qantas 984 is on the blocks at Bay 47. Just wanted to thank you for being online today. Have a good one.
Good day.
Alright, great. So we'll continue shutting things down. I try to be nice, you know. It's life's too short not to be nice to people. Get these lights off, these screens off. Because we're dedicated to simming, right? We want to maximize the life of these virtual screens.
Brisbane Tower, New Zealand 802, request push and start.
New Zealand 802, confirm receipt of information's off, push back and start through.
Get our ATC off.
Golf, push and start approved, New Zealand 802.
Door open. Alright, and yeah, get these screens off. Get the clock off. And now let's do our securing the aircraft checklist. Brake temperature is checked, not needed. IRSs are off. Oxygen's off. APU bleed is off. Emergency exit lights are off. Signs and no smoking signs are off. APU is off. We are on battery power. We've confirmed the APU is spooled down. So all that's left to do, aside from turn off the iPad, is to shut down, get off our power. So let's go ahead and shut down batteries 1 and 2. Those will stop charging. External power comes off. And friends, we are back to cold and dark. And that concludes the flight portion of the stream. Because it's not late enough on the East Coast, I'm just going to play with the drone camera a little bit here. Just take a look at the traffic activity around the airport. Listen to ACC a bit longer just for my own learning benefit. There are quite a few planes on the ground at Brisbane right now. That's fine. I'm not seeing myself here. That's funny. Hold on. Looking on VATSIM map. Oh, you know what? Control just came online. Oh, center just came online. So we missed center, but that's fine. But yeah, no, it looks like my, oh no, my plane is there. So there's a few folks taxiing. There is a plane on approach. So let's go check out that plane landing. Get a nice high drone speed so we can control this nicely. And let's head back to that runway. So the original purpose for this flight tonight, or the theme for this flight tonight, was to check out AIG Manager, which is a livery and traffic manager. Oh my God. I'm already lost. I'm already lost. Shit. Oh, there's a plane. Oh, did they land already? Do we miss it? Yeah, that's the okay. We missed it. But yeah, so the intent tonight, all this traffic here, they were supposed to have the actual liveries on these planes, thanks to AI Manager. But I had trouble downloading some of the key liveries. Like, I couldn't get Qantas to download, which is really annoying. And then the model matching file is not finding the appropriate planes. So unfortunately that didn't work out tonight. I'm going to try something real quick though while we're experimenting. I'm going to my settings here. I have Qantas livery on my usual model matching file. I'm going to remove the AIG traffic one. Hit apply. Model matching rules loaded. What airline is this plane supposed to be? Oh, Jetstar. So I don't have Jetstar liveries. Hang on, there's not another Qantas. There's an Air New Zealand here that is preparing for departure. So let's fly over there. I'll just head back to our plane. Oh, it's dizzying. All right, and we'll just turn around. They're over here somewhere. Drone speed keeps resetting. All right, where are you? I definitely have Air New Zealand downloaded. And no, that's just generic. Is that the Air New Zealand or is this the Air New Zealand? Ah, ha 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 ha. So this works. This is a livery for the 787. And is this actually the 787 or is it just being applied to it? Yeah, no, it is the 787. So I just happen to have this installed. This is how it should look with the AIG Manager. But I'm going to keep tinkering with it, see if we can make it work. Because if it can work, it's amazing. Because you should have access to every livery for every model across all the sims. It's possible. Like when you have it activated on a heavy VATSIM day, there shouldn't be a plane, or there should be a very few planes that have the generic paint scheme. And when you're being told to hold for the Qantas or give way to the New Zealand, it's good to know just have that visual reference like that, and that's how they do it in the real world. Like it's very clear which planes belong to which airlines, and ATC kind of uses that to your advantage. So yeah, we'll try it again next time. Didn't work out tonight. We'll keep tinkering with it. But it was a good flight nonetheless. We had great ATC coverage, lots of traffic in the air. Got to see some of those cool features like TCAS in action in the A320. So hopefully as we continue our travels outside, northward, outward of Australia, that'll continue to be the case. And yeah, thanks for sticking with me. Thanks for all the follows tonight. Thanks for the conversation. And safe travels.